let's talk about and let's unpack what happened in New York. So obviously, we're looking at the Pacers in the NBA Finals. They just beat the Knicks, and there's a lot of stuff coming out, as always, when there's a post-mortem for a season, right? But before I go into all of those details, I'm going to make a statement. I think the Knicks, they need to make a decision fast, and they need to make a decision fast on Karl Anthony Towns. Why I say that is because this is a guy that was drafted number 1 overall. He was supposed to be the guy coming out of Kentucky. He's supposed to be the next great big man. And it never materialized. It never materialized for him to have a low post game. He ended up learning how to shoot, pretty good shooter for a big guy, but never had the willingness to play defense. And when you have a team like the Knicks that they're predicated on isolation basketball and help defense, and you have a guy that is not a willing defender at his size, he doesn't move particularly well at his size, he's not a great rebounder at his size, and he tends to complain a lot when he doesn't get calls. That frustrates a lot of people, especially on a basketball team and also on a coaching staff. So if they can find a way to move him as soon as possible, great. Now, granted, it could be a major overreaction. This is his first year in New York, and his first year you get to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? So can you say let's run it back and see what happens? Yes, but the fact that you now have Thibs out of town, they got rid of him. You need a coach that's going to be able to get the most out of Cat. And if you can't, you're in problems because this guy's making $50 million a year.
Yeah, I saw the breakdown of the books.
It's nasty.
It's nasty. And I look at the gap, like the fucking gap between him and the rest of the players.
Yeah.
Like OG, who we just signed.
I
Bridges.
think OG's what, 40?
30 something right now. I think 40. Around
like the early 40s.
Bridges due for a deal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's that shit had to come off the paperwork because it's too much. And and even still, like if I am gonna pay that, then I'm gonna pay a guy who already won.
And the thing is too, like they can't even get rid of Bridges because remember they give up 5 picks for him.
Right. They got
so you have to keep him because of what you gave up to get him.
He's good, but he was a 2-way player this season.
Yeah, but he's not a number 2 or 3. That's the problem. Is that I would prefer OG as your 3 and have Bridges as your 4. That's the concern. What do you pay a number 4 guy? Especially with the new collective bargaining agreement where, you know, certain guys are not going to get paid. You got to move certain things around and get younger and get cheaper. You know, I get that Brunson took a lot less to be able to keep everything together, but they're gonna have to make an overhaul. Like, is Mitchell Robinson, like, is he gonna stick around? There's a lot of things that they have to do.
Do a deal too.
Yeah, but I think Karl Anthony Towns is the biggest concern. But let's go ahead and go talk about the biggest news for the Knicks, obviously, right now. Tom Thibodeau gets fired. A lot of Knicks fans are like, what the hell? What's going on? He's been the most successful coach in the last 25 years for us. Why is he gone? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, I've been calling for this for 4 years. This is not even a joke. And the reason why I called for it for 4 years is because I know who we're dealing with. This is a guy that every team he's been on, his point guards get overused. Look at the usage rate for every single point guard he's ever coached. Look at the starting lineup in regards to how many minutes they log compared to everybody else in the league. Go ahead and look at his utilization of the bench. Go ahead and look at the efficiency of his offense. He's a low offensive IQ coach. Great defensive mind. But if you don't have the dogs to play defense, then you got to learn how to be able to coach some offense a little bit. He has limitations. He's a good coach, right? but he's not a championship coach. There's a difference. So they have to find the guy that can be able to get them. Like, I think what Tom Thibodeau is, he is a bridge coach, right? He's a guy that can be able to change the culture. If you had a losing culture, bring in that energy, bring in that fight. He's a player's coach because there is no offense. He lets you play how you want to play. So any player is going to sign up for that. Okay, cool. We can do whatever we want. ISO ball, whatever we want to do, cool. So that's why players like him a lot. But I can tell you that rumor has it the Knicks front office was not happy with Thibodeau months prior to this. They didn't like the way he utilized the bench. They didn't like the way he did not turn to rookies. They didn't like the way he ran certain practices. They didn't like his overly disciplinary style. All of those things wear thin, especially when you have certain players on your team. So if you have a guy like Karl Anthony Towns that's a little bit softer than certain players on your team, some people don't get coached well. They don't take that type of criticism well, and it affects their game. So I saw it coming, and shouts to Jamal Bowman. We had a little emergency pod a couple of days ago, and he was just like, yo, Thibs, he deserves his respect. He deserves his credit because of what he built and what he's done with the Knicks. He's won, I think 24 playoff games since he's been there. That's a lot of games. Like, he's done really well, but again, we talked for years that Mark Jackson built the Warriors. Mark Jackson built the Warriors. Cool. But who won championships with the Warriors? That was Steve Kerr. So sometimes you need somebody to be able to, like, spark your organization. Breathe life back into the organization. And then when life is back into the organization now, somebody else goes ahead and takes it over and stabilizes the ship and moves it forward. There's nothing wrong with that. You have transitional coaches. You have transitional hires, transitional managers, transitional employees. You have people that just come in there and fix stuff, but they don't stay. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that Thibs and a lot of Knicks fans, they don't understand that that's the way this game is that this game is getting younger. NBA coaches, they're not looking for retread coaches anymore. They're not looking for guys like Doc Rivers. They're not looking for guys like Jeff Van Gundy. They're not looking for guys like Tom Thibodeau. They're looking for high-level assistants, younger guys that can be able to understand the new landscape of the NBA game. That's where it's going. So, thoughts on Tom Thibodeau getting fired, Claw, and then we'll expand the conversation.
The rumor was it was like months out.
Yeah.
So that was something. I feel like if Detroit gave him a hard time, they went out, he would have been gone just as quick. Granted, what held them back from even getting to the championship, I feel. Granted, OKC would have been a great matchup. Probably was still, got smoked, but just being there would have been everything to go against them. But the Pacers, they have two teams, and they utilize both teams. And you're trying to play against two teams with
6 guys.
6 guys who are, at least 36 minutes, if not more.
Gassed.
So by the time the fourth quarter comes, after they've already pressed Brunson from the minute he inbounds the ball, you're not giving anyone a chance to even get some type of rhythm of going, and that's where they strike you.
Yep.
So, dealing with that and see, the adjustments coming off the bench too late, that doesn't help anything. You know what I mean? It didn't help his case.
And then when you have Cat going every time he gets the ball and he goes to the basket and he doesn't get his foul. Oh my God! Yeah. Oh my God!
And you're gonna have to pay $50 million for that? Oh my God! No, I'm good, bro.
Foul! Oh my God!
Yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah, so it's a concern. There's rumors, and I think that they should look within if they can find a good lead assistant. Some guy, I like the they have the, I think he's Japanese, but we're not gonna do that. He's just Asian guy, player development guy, really good. Been with Thibodeau for a while. Nickname is Dice. I like him. I'm hearing Johnny Bryant's name flying around, but I think the Knicks should go, if they want to go like star hunting, then go for the top. Go get Kidd. Go get Jason Kidd.
That'll make the mission.
Yeah,
complete.
go get Jason Kidd, because Jason Kidd may not be the happiest in Dallas right now, just because of how Luka got traded, and now it's a completely different situation for him. Uh-huh. I think that coaching the Knicks would be a lot more beneficial for him, going to the Eastern Conference where there's a better chance of you being competitive and winning. And on top of that too, who has an affinity for Jason Kidd?
Leon Rose.
Leon Rose, yes. But if you don't know, I'll tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
It.
Do you know?
Dolan?
Of course.
Okay.
But that's not who I'm talking about.
Oh, got you. Bobby Brown.
Not Bobby Brown, no.
Okay. I don't know.
Greek yogurt.
Touche.
Remember, coached the Bucks
when
when Giannis was very, very young in this game.
True.
Did not want Jason Kidd to be let go, and Jason Kidd he ended up getting fired. So him and Jason Kidd, because Jason Kidd was actually the first one to put the ball in Giannis's hands, to say, this is going to be my all-time guy. So he's the one that unlocked Giannis.
Pause.
You know what I mean? Pause. But you know what I mean. So if you go get the big fish, then you call Thanasis and say, "Hey Thanasis, what you hearing out there, huh? Want to come to the Knicks?" If you're gonna do that, you have to do it. You gotta go big game hunting in stages, and you gotta go get that guy first.
I was talking to a buddy of mine, Taj.
Yeah, shout out to Taj.
Really good guy. He made a valid point, man. He said, if that happens, at that point, whose team is it?
What do you mean?
Is it Brunson's team or is it Giannis's team?
Oh no, it's still Brunson's team. I mean, you got to think about it like Dwayne Wade and LeBron James when they went to the Heat,
okay,
or Kevin Durant when he went to Golden State. Steph stepped back, but Steph's still the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this is the hired gun. Do what you do. But at the end of the day, I'm still Derek Jeter and you're Alex Rodriguez. You know what I mean? Like, that's basically what it is. So it'll always be Brunson's team. Just the fact of what he's done for the franchise, what he's done as a player, being productive, having the city fall in love with him, it's always going to be his team. Did you hear the rumors about his father, though?
No.
There's rumors that the players don't like that Rick Brunson is in the actual locker or like in the mix. They don't like the fact that he has so much influence on the sidelines, because obviously that's Jalen Brunson's pops, and there's nepotism with all that other shit. But yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how you rectify that, because at the end of the day, that's Brunson's pops. So if you let him go, that's going to cause friction with your star player. Unless they give him another role somewhere, I have no idea how they're going to figure it out. But they're going to have to figure it out. But, there's a lot of stuff coming out of New York, and I'm just hoping that they can be able to figure it out, because they have a chance to be good for probably like the next 3 or 4 years if they play their cards right, if they make the right moves, make some little moves in the margins, get the right coach, have somebody that can be able to motivate Cat. So that's a big thing. Moving on. You over here coughing.